Can you hear me now? Thanks for telling me there's no sound. My fucking mic is doing that thing again. I didn't even notice. Hold on, this is on. That's not working. This is so annoying. The only thing I can think. Yeah, you can hear me, but I'm pretty sure it's coming through my phone mic, which is not as good, but I don't really feel like taking the time to switch out the mics, especially for something like an NFL honors watch along. So we'll just do it this way. And I'll actually take this cable that my mic is plugged into and plug in my phone since it's dying. There, we solved that problem. So I'm not gonna lie, like there's part of me that looks at the NFL honors and it almost kind of looks a little stuffy and boring. But there's part of me that like really wants to go. Like I just want to see what it's like. Like sometimes I just want the experience just to see like, okay, what is it like going to something like this in person? You know what I'm saying? Oh, while you're here, Royal, hold on. I'm gonna read this news that came out about the Cowboys earlier. You might have heard already. Let me see if I can find it. Cowboys to play 2026 regular season game in Brazil. So I was wrong. I was like, they're probably gonna go to. Okay, so yeah, you did all already hear. I had said the other day that I was like, I was so sure that they were going to Mexico City, and I still feel like I had some solid reasoning. Not every take is gonna turn out to be correct. But yeah, they're going to Brazil. The article reads. For the first time in 12 seasons, the Cowboys are headed overseas for another regular season matchup. The NFL just announced the Cowboys will play in Rio de Janeiro this season with a date and opponent to be named later, likely closer to the schedule release in May. This is the third straight year the NFL has played a regular season game in Brazil, but the first in Rio de Janeiro after a pair of games were played in Sao Paulo. The game will be played at the historic Maracanã Stadium, one of the largest venues for a sporting event. More than 26 times has the stadium held crowds of 150,000 or more for soccer matches, including World Cup events. The only other regular season game the Cowboys have played outside the U.S. occurred in 2014 when they faced the Jaguars at Wembley Stadium in London. Dallas won the game 31-17, but 11 full seasons have gone by before the Cowboys have fully gone out of the country. Before that, the Cowboys have played all international games in the preseason, including games in Mexico City, Monterrey, Toronto, and Tokyo. The NFL also announced that the 49ers and Rams will play in Melbourne, Australia during the 2026 season as well. As for the Cowboys' opponents who could play in Rio, the team is scheduled to face the Commanders, Giants, Eagles, Colts, Texans, Seahawks, Rams, and Packers on the road. Home opponents are Commanders, Giants, Eagles, Cardinals, 49ers, Bucks, Ravens, Jaguars, and Titans. So, interesting. What's up, Clement? So, yeah, interesting stuff. I definitely didn't see Brazil coming as a location, but like I said, it's not one of the Cowboys' international markets. So, it's one of those things that makes me wonder why. Why they're not Mexico City. So I don't know. Maybe at some point they'll get an answer to that question. Like I don't know if the Cowboys are going to add to their international markets or what. Clement said, on the way to Rio de Janeiro, time to be the Cowboys fan base in Brazil. Oh, are you going, Clement? That's dope. I was just telling my homeboy, I was like, I wish I could go. But yeah, no, that sounds like a really good time. I've never been to Brazil. I've never been to an NFL international game. So, like, I don't know. Did they say when it is? No, they did not announce the date or opponent yet. So they said maybe they'll announce that closer to the schedule release in May. Oh, you said no, I'm not going. Okay, the way you phrased that message, I thought you were saying you were going because you're like time to be the Cowboys fan base in Brazil. I'm like, oh, dope. Congrats to you. But yeah, that would be a dope trip. I mean, every content creator loves to travel. You know what I'm saying? Every content creator would love to have a unique experience to share with their following, to share with their audience, and be like, yeah, I went to this event. This is what it was like. So I don't think I'm like alone in being like, I would love to go to Brazil. That's not like a unique desire. Clement says, to be honest, Jazz, I was thinking last night, I feel like the Cowboys are finally going to win multiple Super Bowls. The defensive coaches that we have now, I'm glad Jerry's finally waking up. You know what? I have not done nearly enough reading on who they're putting on the staff, but I've seen a little bit here and there. And it's like I'm just excited by the way that they're going through the process, even without knowing a lot yet about the coaches, because it seems like they're taking their time with it, they're being thorough. And honestly, that right there is a difference. There have been so many seasons in the past, in the recent history, where it felt like there was almost no investigation. It was just Jerry Jones picking somebody he liked and depending on the head coach to deal with it and make it work. And now it's like, yes, they are depending on Shadi to make it work, but Shadi actually had input on the process, not just, figuring it out once they pick the coach. It really feels like Shadi is involved in the process. Like he was involved in the process of getting the defensive coordinator, and he's been involved in the process of getting the right people on the staff, which he should be as the head coach, even though it's the defensive staff. He should 100% be involved in figuring out who's going to be on that staff, because at the end of the day, he's in charge of all of it. Like if you're going to trust him to curate a certain culture, then he's got to have a role in deciding who are going to be the leaders and who is best suited to echo the message that he's sending out to the players. You know what I'm saying? So even just seeing that they're being so thorough, that they're being so smart about who they pick and how they place who they place, that right there is exciting to me without me knowing much about who they've actually put in place so far. Like I do need to catch up on that ASAP, but I really like how the Cowboys are moving this offseason. And so I think I agree with you that it could lead to multiple Super Bowls. And for me, I think that because the consistency and actual identity and philosophy on the defensive side of the ball is one of the things that they've been missing. And it was more obvious this season. It was more obvious when you see your offense going out there kicking ass and then the defense just falling short. So I think it was just like a glaring red light this year, but like it's been a problem for multiple seasons. And it feels like so many aspects of the team are coming together at one time. And it does feel like this could be the time where it's just like, yeah, for the final years of Dak Prescott's time with the Cowboys, they could actually see some success, which would be dope. Clement said, I'm at time to build a Dallas Cowboys fan base in Brazil. I think they have fans there. I'm going to look that up in a second. The only time we should see or hear the Jones family is when the NFL Combine Draft and start of training camp this upcoming season. That might be the case this year. And I mean, I do think they have like some sort of agreement with the radio station, so we might hear from them on there. Or maybe not. I don't know. They might change that too. But it's like I said before, like this offseason when they started interviewing some of the other owners about the head coach firings for some other teams, and they're like, yeah, this owner hasn't done a press conference in 6 years. And I'm like, okay, that's why everybody thinks Jerry Jones is crazy, because he's just the owner people hear from the most. All these owners sound crazy when they get behind a mic. They all sound out of touch and ridiculous. They all do. So yeah, it might be time for the Cowboys to reevaluate their media strategy. Let me see something. Let me see if I can figure out, do the Dallas Cowboys have a fan base in Brazil? Yes, the Cowboys have a notable growing fan base in Brazil, ranking among the top NFL teams in popularity within the country as of 2025. The team is set to play a 2026 regular season game in Rio de Janeiro, highlighting their strong, established connection to the Brazil market. The Dallas Cowboys are ranked as the third most popular NFL team in Brazil, tied with the San Francisco 49ers and the Buffalo Bills, with a 5.8% share of total team searches in the country. They really seem to be putting a lot on the searches for a team when it comes to evaluating which countries like which teams. That's interesting. The NFL is sending the Cowboys to Rio de Janeiro for a 2026 regular season game at Maracanã Stadium, a move meant to capitalize on their large fan base in the region. Okay, then why not Mexico City, though? Brazil has the second largest international NFL fan base, and the league is actively expanding there with official offices in Sao Paulo. Interesting. What are we doing in Brazil? Why we need offices there? Despite the Kansas City Chiefs leading in searches, apparently the Chiefs lead in searches in a lot of countries, the Cowboys' brand strength keeps them as a top recognized team in Brazil. Hey, JV, good to see you. That's something I might have to investigate. Why does the NFL have executive offices in Brazil? It's probably got something to do with flag football, if I had to guess. I didn't know that the Bills are popular in Brazil either. I wonder if that's one of their international markets and if they've been marketing there and that's why. Because that does feel kind of random. It's like the other teams, it kind of makes sense. But the Bills, it's like, that's interesting. Okay, so you can tell that everything that they're saying on the red carpet is like 100% scripted. And they are really pitching the hell out of Invisalign. Like, Invisalign must have paid some good money for the sponsorship spot this year. Oh my goodness. Someone said maybe they want to start a flag football league in Brazil or have an international team in the future. If I had to bet, I would say it's flag. But I was wrong about Mexico City, so we can take my takes and predictions with a grain of salt. That's why I don't like predictions. Because you can put all this work into this is why I think this, and then line up your points only to find out 2 days later that you were wrong. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I want Invisalign. Like, my teeth aren't terrible, but I can feel them like starting to like shift in ways that I don't like. And I would love an Invisalign sponsorship. Be like, Invisalign, I'm already doing mostly good. Like, you hit me with this sponsorship, you can take credit for the whole smile. I just need to fix a couple things, but I'll put a logo in the corner. So, y'all, I did an interview earlier today with this other podcast, and it's not coming out until later this month. But it was such a weird interview because they kept asking me questions like, what were some of the hurdles that you had to face to make it? And I'm like, make it? I haven't made it. What are you talking about? I was like, I'm just now figuring out how to be consistent for real. Like, how to be consistent and like going live every week. I still end up skipping some days, but I still try to go live at least once every week, ideally twice. And I don't know, like, for some reason, I don't know if y'all have ever felt this way. Hold on. There's a news alert on the screen. McDaniels wins AP Assistant Coach of the Year. Okay, I thought that was going to be a way bigger deal than what it turned out to be. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know if this has ever happened to y'all, but have you ever been in a situation where you just feel like the universe is trying to put something on your radar? Like, the universe is trying to get you to think about something. Because that's where I felt like I've been lately. because I find myself constantly thinking about how do I define success? Like, what do I want my brand to be? And it almost feels like things that I don't need to think about right now. I'm I could literally do well by just focusing on being consistent and doing a better job at like picking topics, getting notes for my show, so on and so forth. But it just feels like I'm constantly being confronted with something that makes me think about like, how do you define success? Like, what direction are you going in? What exactly do you want this brand to be? What do you want it to represent? But this man asked me like about hurdles that I faced on the path to making it, and I'm just like, I haven't made it. He was asking me about like achieving success, and I'm like, I'm not successful. What are you talking about? And it's like on one hand, people are like, don't look at the numbers, right? Because like if I were relying on the numbers, I would have quit a long time ago. Because everything that the internet tells you about how a podcast is supposed to grow, like it hasn't. What the hell happened to the show? Oh, there it goes. But everything that the internet tells you about how a podcast is supposed to grow and what results you should achieve from posting a certain number of times a week, it hasn't really happened that way. Oh, is that Jordan Love and his wife? His wife is so pretty. Oh my God. Seth Rollins? I don't recognize none of these people in a suit. Oh my God. I feel like the new game to play with the red carpet, watching the NFL honors red carpet, is just to be like, I wonder how they're going to manage to incorporate some mention of Invisalign. Like they're having conversations with everybody, and at some point they start talking about Invisalign. And I'm like, first of all, I did not realize that every fucking athlete in the country used Invisalign. JV says, follow the nudge that you're being given. JV, hold on. I'm trying to hear what they're saying about Ben Johnson. I don't think this man actually watched the Bears this season, but he's a wrestler, so he's doing his damn thing. Anyway. Oh, now Dak Prescott is on the red carpet. They definitely about to talk about Invisalign. Oh, he's up for comeback player of the year. I hope he gets it. He deserves it. He might not get it though because he was coming off of an injury. He didn't go from terrible performance to great performance. He went from injured to great performance. Dak is so good with like the media ready answers. They asked him what it's like to be nominated for the award, and he's like, the biggest reward is just getting to play this game. Oh man. They did not bring up Invisalign. I am losing it this game. Okay, but JV, back to your question or back to your statement to follow the nudge that I'm being given. I'm trying to follow it, but it's just like the answers aren't coming to me. And it's like I have friends that make me feel crazy, right? Like right before I started this stream, I was talking to one of my homeboys and I was just like, what do you do uh to avoid comparing yourself? Because you know, comparison, it really is a thief of joy, but sometimes it's hard not to. And this man was like, I just stopped doing it. I realized it wasn't serving me and I just stopped. And then he tells me, he's like, you like to complicate things. And I'm like, excuse me, motherfucker. Because my thing is like, it's not like I'm looking for reasons to compare myself. It's for me, it's one of those things that just happens almost subconsciously. And it's hard for me not to do it. And so I was just like, do you not know what it's like to struggle with something? And he's like, yeah, sure I do. Like, but I didn't realize that it wasn't an option. Or no, he's like, I didn't realize that it was an option to just not compare myself. I thought it was something everybody did. And I was like, well, it is something that a lot of people did. But I almost feel like not realizing that it's an option to just not do it is worse than struggling with it. Because I'm like, at least I knew it was an option. It's just been hard for me to not do it. But he's like, oh, I didn't know I could just not do that. I'm like, that's ridiculous. But I was kind of offended that he was like, you just like to complicate things. Man, fuck you. I'm sitting here asking you for advice. Rude ass. JV said I am the bar. That feels great, but I feel like I'm not. And here's why. You can tell me what you think about these things, JV, since you're giving me feedback on this topic while we wait for the NFL honors to start. So I'm just like, in terms of audio podcasts, I feel like if it was just audio that I was worried about, and maybe I should go back to audio, because when I first started the podcast, I was audio only. Like I didn't show my face. I was never on camera. I moved to video when I was just like, oh, I could do something on YouTube. But in terms of audio, in terms of making points, and I try to bring interesting topics to y'all, I feel like I do well there. But like in terms of YouTube, I'm just like, I don't really have a lot of time to create like awesome graphics. I don't have a cool ass backdrop. I don't have a cool soundboard to like insert like these sounds and phrases to like keep shit entertaining and exciting. I'm like, it's just me. And if you like listening to me talk, then you are here. But that is usually not a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, how can I consider myself the bar if so many other people are doing better than me? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, hold on, sorry. They keep showing these women and I don't know who these women are. And apparently they're with flag football. Like apparently flag football got some bad bitches. Like I was not aware. I was not aware. Clement said, who said that you weren't successful? Don't compare yourself to other people on YouTube. Continue to be yourself. The subscribers will come around. So Clement, it's not that I don't think I can't be successful. I just don't think I'm successful yet, But I also don't really know how to judge that. You feel me? And so I'm like, maybe I am successful. Like maybe being consistent means more than I'm giving it credit for, I don't know. Sorry, I'm distracted by this toy car on the red carpet. They just called it something else. And maybe it is different. Maybe it's like a drone on wheels. Because like I'm like, when I was younger, that was just a remote control truck. JV said, you're on the outside of others' lives looking at them. What looks like success to you on them may be utterly hell to them. Okay, philosophical question, JV. Just because it's hell, does that mean it's not success? Like, can you be successful and still not enjoy your experience is what I'm asking. Because it's like, I feel you. Somebody might look like they're enjoying everything, like they have every reason in the world to be grateful, and they're really like, I hate this shit, right? That is the thing. But does that mean that they're not successful? Does that mean I shouldn't aspire for some of those benchmarks? You know what I'm saying? Clement says consistency is success. Okay. That was the answer I gave, dude. When he was like, what are some of the obstacles you face in trying to achieve success? I was like, look, I don't feel successful. But one of the things that I didn't do for the longest time is like I was inconsistent. I was like taking breaks. I was like the podcast would just go dark for like 2 months and then I come back. And I was like, I've been trying to be better at being consistent. And I was like, I can tell you about the hurdles that I faced to become more consistent. You know, that is something that we did talk about. So JV said, how do you perceive success? Bruh, that's one of the things that I'm trying to figure out. What is my definition of success? Because it's like, I feel like my definition of success should be realistic. And maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe like my short-term goals versus my long-term goals versus what actually is success are all different things. Maybe Clement's right and consistency is success, but I want more than that. And maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's that like I have every reason to be proud of and satisfied with what I'm doing now, but I want more than that as well. And that's just where it is. Because, for example, like how we were just talking about going to Brazil, I would love it if I was in a place where my content could pay for me to go to Brazil. And then it would be like a symbiotic relationship. I go to Brazil, I make great content that people appreciate, and the content pays for the trip. And so I get to take more trips, so on and so forth. I would love to be able to write and cover sports full time. You know, right now I technically have like 3 different jobs. And it's like writing pays the least. That's why I don't get to write very much, because some days it's literally hard to justify taking the time to write when I have like bills to pay. And I'm like, okay, well, if I spend this time doing this, I'm gonna make this amount. Whereas if I spend my time writing, I'm gonna make this amount. And so on the days when I have time to write and everything's taken care of, I write. But it's just like in January, had to make some major repairs to my car, had some other stuff come up. I haven't had time to write. So JV says, hell isn't success even if it seems that way from others. I guess that's where we get back to the difference between what is success and is success different than what you want. Like, is achieving success different than getting what you want? Because that, I feel like, would go along with what you're saying here, JV. Because if... I hate Robert Griffin III. I don't want to hear what he's about to say. Whatever. Albert says, if it were up to me, I would have the NFL dishonors. Celebrating the worst in the league. So just like a long ass roast. A long ass roast, Albert. We just roast different people in the league for crazy shit they did. Ooh, a Matt Eberflus roast would slap. Like, Eberflus would rack up the trophies at the NFL dishonors because, oh my God. JV says, how can you achieve success but you're miserable? Well, I think achieving success but still being miserable would mean being successful in a field, but you don't actually like what you're doing, you know? So like, let's say, I'm trying to think of a good example. Okay, so for example, when I was in sales and marketing, like I was in an industry that had a sudden change and it kind of messed up my commission, which ultimately led to me leaving that job, right? But it's like, by a lot of people's measures, I was successful. I was surpassing my metrics in terms of what the company I worked for said I should achieve at a baseline. I won awards for my sales. I did pretty well in terms of commission. I hated that job. I hated that job. Um, so I guess in that sense, it's like I considered myself successful because I was making money, I was taking care of myself, I had good credit, I was traveling. I hated that job. I was miserable. So by your definition, you might say I wasn't actually successful. I just had money. uh Albert says, I see where you're coming from. I was a part-time film reviewer for 8 years covering film festivals. I wanted at one point to write about movies full-time, but I couldn't afford to. I'm saying writing these days, like it's hard to make a true living at it, you know? And it's like, here's what I hate. I'm about to give y'all a peek behind the curtain in a second. Clement says, success is, are you happy doing it? Or is it a chore for you? This is the first question you ask yourself. Do your research and ask some of the successful YouTubers what they do to be successful. I mean, I'm happy doing this, obviously. I wish I could do it more. Like, if I could go live every day, like if I had the time to go live every day, I would be here every day. I would be here multiple times a day. I would do, because I've literally thought about this. I would do a morning stream and I would do an evening stream because I'd be listening to shows in the morning and it's like, they might say something that I have a take on or that I have a perspective on. And I'd be like, ooh, I wish I had time to make a video about that. And a lot of times I don't. And then by the time the evening rolls around, because the sports news cycle goes so fast. So then by the time they get to the evening, it's like even more news. And I'd be like, ooh, I wish I had time to make a video about that. And it's just like, I don't. So like, yeah, I do enjoy this. I do. I would do it even more. I just have not been able to work that into my schedule just yet. JV says wealth and success are different. Okay. That's legit. Albert says, I had to thus concentrate on writing other pieces for magazines and newspapers. Exactly. I had to wait until I was retired to finally write about film full time the past couple of years. What the meme says, may I be a mod? No. Who are you? But yeah, when it comes to like not making money writing, the thing that I hate is that like, and me and my homeboy Kalu were having a conversation about this, is that one of the things that makes it tough is that people don't retire anymore, especially in big markets like Dallas. People do not retire. They are staying in these positions into their 70s, and so like it's hard to find places that are hiring. And then the older people who you would hope would be like mentors and stuff, right? You would hope that they would like mentor the younger people. They're actually competing with the people who are coming up, you know? So that's why you see so many like established media personalities getting in like full blown Twitter beefs with like content creators who like you would expect the media personalities to kind of be above that because they've been doing this for so long, they're so well established. But a lot of times behind the scenes, y'all don't hear a lot of the stuff that's said, but a lot of times they do seem to be competing. They do seem to be somewhat jealous. And then sometimes they'll offer you an opportunity, but the opportunity pays shit. But they try to like prep you for accepting bullshit because they'll say shit like, well, you know, if you're expecting to get rich, you're in the wrong industry. And I'm like, well, it's not so much that I'm expecting to get rich, but if I'm gonna put in that much work, could I at least be paid like a full-time wage? But it's like they do that and then they offer you an opportunity to like write for their website or something. And it almost feels like what they're telling you is like, I've been doing this longer than you, so trust me when I say that the pay is going to be terrible and you should just be okay with that. So come write for me, accept this terrible ass pay, and just hope for the best or some shit. I don't know. But it's just like a lot of these people are not out here trying to help for real. They're trying to use younger content creators, if anything. And if they do offer you anything, it's bullshit because they always want to make more money off your content, more money off your writing than you do. And so it's like, it can sometimes even be difficult to even network and find somebody to help you get a better position. So it's like, unless you get lucky, you're really out here on your own. And then that doesn't even take into account the people who will talk shit about you behind closed doors. Like sometimes you think you're connecting with people, you think you're like, all right, I'm networking, I'm just trying to do right by people so I can get an opportunity. And next thing you know, you find out they didn't put all kind of dirt on your name. And you've actually like made a big mistake by networking with these people, because now it's done more harm than good to your reputation. So now you got to rebuild your own reputation all over again. The connections you thought you had just went up in smoke because you can't trust these motherfuckers. It's crazy. So I don't know. That's why I'm just like, I'm gonna just focus on consistency and hope something comes along. Oh yeah, kick this guy. Actually, I got it. If you said, is that within the Dallas Cowboys space? Yes. I've actually heard that the Dallas media environment is worse than most places. Thanks for handling that, JV. I appreciate it. I don't understand people. It's like, how you come on my channel? I don't know who you are, and you're like, can I be a mod? And I'm like, no. And then your first response is to like insult me. It's like, okay. But yeah, no, I've talked to people who have been in multiple media markets, and they have said that Dallas is worse when it comes to like backstabbing, jealousy, just overall, just being nasty towards other people. So Albert says, I loved my career as a freelance writer and I was very satisfied, but I would have been happier if I could just focus on the film. So it's a mixture of personal desire, ambition, and satisfaction. No, same. Like, if I did not have like bills to pay, like if an angel came down and waved a magic wand and was like, you never have to pay another bill again. You're going to be good no matter what you decide to do. Everything's going to be taken care of. I promise you. All I would spend my day doing is going live, writing, and going live again. That would be my fucking day. That would be it. And I'd probably even write about more than just the Cowboys. Like, I probably would. And that would be my day, and that would be my life. And so I guess from that perspective, going back to what we were saying about consistency, I guess I could consider myself successful in that sense, in the fact that I figured out how to squeeze in going live consistently. I have. So I can be happy about that. I enjoy it. I got cool ass people in the chat who come and talk to me. So those are all things I definitely appreciate. But I don't know. I guess for me, the idea of giving advice to other people is like, I'm like, I can't give advice to other people about this. Like, what? What are they here with now? Oh, the Atlanta Falcons president of football. I think they have like 15 minutes until the actual ceremony starts. Albert says, Jazz, I was a freelancer for over 20 years. Dang. My advice to writers and journalists is A, never write for free. Real shit. B, okay to start with a small fee, but don't settle for tiny fees. C, learn negotiation. So with Cowboys Wire, I don't think there is negotiation. They have like a standard rate that they give to everybody, and you either accept it or you don't. And I guess whether or not the fee is considered tiny kind of depends on what I write, because they pay based on article. So it's hard to write what I really want to write, just because like for what they pay per article, I would be getting so little per hour if I actually wrote the way that I want to write, like involving research and involving like a lot of thought and putting a lot of time into the articles. So I'm probably gonna try to start writing again next week. And I just have to figure out how to write shorter stuff faster and get more consistent at that. Marley says, hi, I'm new here. Will you be showing the whole thing? No, because it will cut my stream. It is available to stream on the NFL Network and Peacock and ABC. So I will be talking about what happens in the ceremony when it starts and responding to who gets what award and the things that happen on stage. But no, they'll cut my stream if I try to put it on the screen. So sorry. But typically when I do watch alongs, Marley, what I do is I talk about what's on the TV, and the people in my chat are also watching on their own TV. And that's how we do that. Stay true to yourself. Be who you are. The universal advice for everything. Who is this with the mic? I need them to start keeping the names up on the screen, because some of these people I'm just like, I don't know who that is. Albert says standard rate is fine. I dealt with that most of my career. Just find other outlets with more money per piece to balance out Cowboys Wire. That's what I'm working on. I've been applying to other places, but I guess the more that a place pays, the tougher it is to. It's more competitive. It's more competitive, so we'll see. But I appreciate y'all for helping me think through these questions that I've had. JV said, I think that's a Seahawks GM. Maybe. I mean, he did look familiar. I just couldn't remember who it was. I got Tiffany Haddish on the red carpet. I have mixed feelings about Tiffany Haddish. Do y'all love or hate Tiffany Haddish? So apparently Thundercat is a new word for cougars? Debbie said, I don't hate her. Jamie said, couldn't care less for her also. I think that's how I feel about it, honestly. I don't even remember how she ended up being famous. It's like with most comedians that I like, I can recall like a special or a movie or something that they were in that made me say like, oh, that person is hilarious. Like, oh, I remember when I saw this, I knew I liked that person. But with her, I'm just like, wait, is she actually funny? Like, I can't think of like anything, like any joke or any stand up, any special or any movie that I was like, oh my God, Tiffany Haddish is hilarious. Albert says, I don't know the Dallas media market freelance writing wise. I only worked in Honolulu, Seattle, and Los Angeles. Is it a large, modest, or small media market? Dallas is a huge media market. It's a huge media market. And there are a lot of opportunities to write. But none of them pay very well, at least from what I found. JV said she was a fresh female comedian face and pushed by Hollywood. I don't know. There's just something. I don't know what it is. There's just something that I'm just like, I don't know. It's not my thing. But maybe I just haven't seen the right content from her. I don't know. I'm not saying that people are wrong for liking her, but sometimes I see her at stuff like this, and I'm just like, how are you on the red carpet? Like, what are you? She's not my thing. She's not my thing. But no, Albert, Dallas is one of the biggest sports markets in the U.S. Last time I checked, it was third after New York and LA. Now that was a while back that I checked. I think it was like three or 4 years ago, I think, maybe. Because it was when the mayor of Dallas was talking about trying to bring a second NFL team to the city. And he was like, well, New York has two and LA has two. And he's like, I think we should handle 2. And people were like, well, Dallas is the 3rd biggest market in the US. And I was like, okay, they're 3rd biggest, but that gap between 2 and 3 is huge. Dallas cannot handle a second NFL team, and Jerry Jones was set for it. So I remember looking up the stats on that to respond to that headline that the mayor was talking about. But yeah, no, I appreciate y'all talking me through what's been on my mind in terms of this, because it's helping me think about like, okay, what is success? And it's just like when I step outside of like the numbers that I would like and the money that I would like, and I think about like, okay, what am I doing on a daily basis, and how it's, I don't want to say I have a privileged position, but like, yeah, there is a certain level of privilege that comes along with the ability and the means, you know, both from a skill perspective and a resource perspective, to be like, yeah, I can go live multiple times a week. I can put out multiple videos a week. You know, there's some people who like would not be able to do that. So yeah, I can show gratitude for that. So I would say I'm grateful but not satisfied. I like that I'm able to do this. I have fun doing this, but am I satisfied? Fuck no. Not even close. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Albert says my minimum rate as a writer is 700 to 1,000 per piece. So could publications and outlets afford me in Dallas? Fuck no. If I could make that per piece, that would be my full-time job. I'm nowhere near that. And maybe some of them could, but like maybe it's an experience thing. But like what you're offered as a beginner without like a resume under your belt, which is where I am, I don't have the resume to demand that, and that is nowhere close to what I'm being offered. I'll tell you what somebody offered me. They said if I did 4 articles a day every day, including weekends, I could get $400 a month. That was one of the offers that I got. And I was like, well, I don't think I'd be able to write 4 articles a day every day. I haven't been able to do that for Cowboys Wire. And they were like, well, any day that you don't write 4, you can always make it up another day. So that's the kind of shit that they're throwing out to people who are new to the scene like me. Yes, a month, $400 a month if I write 4 articles a day. Which, even if I were to write really quickly, like I'm imagining that would take at least 2 hours of my day. So we're talking about something in the neighborhood of like 60 hours a month for $400 a month. At best. At best. I'm pretty sure it was 7 days. It might have been 5. It might have been 5. But even if it's 5 days, that's still not very much. Like I can't justify that, you know? Not when I have other jobs that are paying me damn near $40 an hour. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I could be working for them. Now, if I run out of hours for those jobs, and that's a different story. But like that just hasn't been the case lately. It's been like, okay, I have time to do these other jobs. And I would say I don't want to put like Cowboys Wire on blast, especially since it's not KD's choice what he pays me. But like, yeah, Cowboys Wire is paying like less than half of what I'm making at my other jobs. Yeah, it's ugly out here, Albert. JV said I would write titles only. Oh man. Wow, Baker Mayfield cleans up okay. All these guys look so nice and cleaned up in their suits. But yeah, so Albert, that is my struggle. That is my struggle. It's that like I would love to just like write and go live each day. And it's like I have to I have to work other jobs in addition to writing just to justify taking the time to write. It's tough. And then it's like from live streaming I make nothing. Like live streaming actually costs me money. uh and somebody had asked me about super chats. So here's the thing about super chats. Why I don't mind y'all sending me super chats. Super chats actually helps my ranking in like the algorithm. So even though I don't get most of that money that y'all send in super chats, it actually does help me in the algorithm. It helps other people see my channel. And so I still appreciate it. So like if you send a $1.99 super chat, if you send it from an Apple device, first of all, Apple takes a fee off the top of that. Then YouTube takes a fee off the top of that. So I end up making like less than $1. But what it does is it sends like basically a signal to the YouTube algorithm that says like, oh, this creator is doing something that makes people want to send her super chats. And that's revenue for us. And that must mean that they're making good content. So let's put this stream on more people's homepage. Like, let's recommend it to more people, right? So it's good in that sense. No, I do not have a degree in journalism. I majored in human and organizational development. I have a few fitness certifications, but like when it comes to journalism, no. I started writing for Inside the Star a few years ago, then moved to Cowboys Wire, and that is my only experience writing. And so there's some good jobs out there. I'm hoping at some point I'll be able, like, I'll have the resume for one of those jobs. But it's like, here's the thing, Albert. Here's where we get stuck. In order for me to qualify for one of the better writing jobs, I would have to write more consistently for Cowboys Wire. In order for me to write more consistently for Cowboys Wire, I would have to somehow make that make sense financially. So right now I'm in a place where it's like I have to spend so much time working. I don't have time to basically take the pay cut I would have to take on any given day to write for Cowboys Wire. So it's like, so it's been tough for me to find the consistency that I would need to create a resume competitive enough or like a history competitive enough for one of these other outlets to hire me and possibly pay me more to write. John says sometimes you just got to do it. Yeah, sometimes you do just have to do it. And that's why I said I might start writing it again more next week, just because I might be in a better position to do it. And it's like, obviously, I've made time in the past. I've written in the past. It's just that I don't always have have the space in my schedule. All right, the ceremony is actually starting. Is Cowboys Wire the same as .com? No, it's not. Cowboys Wire is under USA Today, and the .com is .com. I don't know how much .com pays their writers. I'm watching this montage, and one thing it's making me think about is like the more I watch global sports, the more I realize there really is no other sport like American football. especially contact football. Like I know people are like, starting to spread flag football. It's growing, but when it comes to contact football, gridiron football, like it is truly a unique sport. Maybe that's why they like it so much overseas. Maybe they be out there like, you want to go watch these Americans knock the shit out of each other? Albert said, I see your position. I would just say develop your writing/sports journalism resume so you can maybe find a full-time job possibly in the future. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm working on. Thanks for keeping me running in the background, John. Who are these people singing? Are these players? Do we have football players out here acting as an Earth, Wind, and Fire cover band now? Is that what I'm watching? Albert said there's rugby. Ah, yes. I haven't watched a rugby match in a minute. I need to find time to cover rugby next year. Is rugby going to be at the Olympics? Y'all, are y'all watching? Who are these people on stage? Are these current players? Or are these former players? I'm assuming they're players, or they were players at some point. Unless they just found random black men who could have been football players. I played rugby for a short period of time in college. The NFL Players Choir. I think they did something last year, but it was a different. That's interesting. It said Ham looks bloated. I don't know, maybe he is. Bijan Robinson is DJing? Oh my goodness. I think it's hilarious when they make jokes about somebody's team and that person don't laugh. They just sit there. um, they really don't be wanting to laugh at these jokes. Wow. Okay, at least Derek could take a joke. You just made a Michael Parsons joke. Does Michael Parsons have braces? Okay, I hear noise from my audience, but I don't see an audience. Why would Michael Parsons have braces when Invisalign is sponsoring every damn thing the NFL does? What the hell? E40 and Too Short? Are you serious? Wait. Do y'all remember when E40 and Too Short were just like considered too controversial for TV or radio? Like it's crazy to think about them at award shows now. E40 and Too Short, for real? And y'all got former players on the stage. Y'all know y'all need to have this mic higher than this. Well, Michael Strahan always had like a gap in his teeth. I think it's part of his signature look at this point. All right, finalists for Defensive Player of the Year. Michael Parsons. I mean, honestly, if Myles Garrett don't get it, what are we doing? Nick Bonito. You said he's got a tooth missing, JV? Aiden Hutchinson? Myles Garrett has to get it. Like, getting the season SAG record and not getting Defensive Player of the Year would make zero sense. Myles Garrett. That was an easy one, especially once he said unanimous. I'm like, okay, we know where this is going. I wonder, like, for the other countries who are watching this, how they feel. Because, like, I've been also watching some of the ceremonies, award shows, and just entertainment surrounding other sports. And it is so much more low key. Like, everything the NFL does feels like advertisement for an energy drink. You know what I'm saying? Well, Michael Strahan actually said during the season that he was happy for Myles Garrett breaking the record. Oh, that's what he meant by team. He said greatest team I could ask for. I thought he meant the Browns. I'm like, excuse me? He's talking about his managers and shit. Oh wait, no. Is he actually talking about his teammates? I guess if he means his specific teammates. Oh yeah. Yeah, Strahan said like halfway through the season, he like congratulated Myles Garrett. Like he was always already coming to terms with losing that record. What are we watching now? I didn't even hear them announce who's presenting this. But John, to answer your question, yes, rugby and football are very much related. And football became really different after it became outlawed. So there was a small portion of American history where like football was actually made illegal. And it had to undergo a lot of changes in order to come back. That's why Walter Camp is often called the father of American football because Walter Camp was the guy who started writing out how some of those changes would be implemented so that football could come back. Why does this man look like the Night King from Game of Thrones? No, I agree with you, Maddo. I was thinking that. I'm like, this does feel like a lot. Like what whoever came up with this idea, I kind of see where they were going with it. But I'm also like, can we not just present it the way we did the last award? I guess they wanted to make this a special moment for the rookies. I don't know, but it is a lot. He said, "Let me not call this man Tet." While his mom's standing up here, it's like she just talked about that. Does everybody have a lei? Did his mom make leis for everybody? Jackson Dart's girlfriend looks like she's like one sneeze away from a nip slip. It's a cute dress though. Don't get me wrong. She's a pretty girl, but I'm just like, the cameras might want to keep it safe and stay away from that. John said this gives off participation trophy vibes. Why you say that? Because I mean, I feel like if they're gonna have an offensive rookie of the year, like he's done enough to deserve it. Here's the thing about, I'm trying to listen to this guy. One of the tallest receivers paired with the shortest QB. Yeah, he definitely made a difference for the Panthers. Okay, if you don't got nothing more to say, it feels like he doesn't have anything else to say. And it's like, you can say thank you and get off the stage. There we go. It's fine. I wonder if Bijan Robinson is actually DJing or if they just got him in the DJ booth. John said it's a presentation of the award and not the award itself. Oh no, I feel you. The presentation is a lot. It's like, okay, y'all are doing a lot for this award and really playing it up. But but here's my thing about award ceremonies like this. If they feel a bit insincere, I think it's because the NFL is trying to capitalize on everything that they possibly can. So I think while the awards are dope, I think one of the more important things for the NFL is this is another opportunity for them to get sponsorship dollars, for them to sell media rights. And so I think if it starts to feel a little bit like a participation trophy, it's because, yeah, they're playing it up. Like, they're literally going through extra steps, extra effort when it comes to production to make all of this seem like more than what it actually is, if that makes sense. But it's like, to me, that's like part of the story of the league, because it's like, don't get me wrong, I love the game of football, I love to watch it. Bitches do truly love sports. But the other thing that I like, in addition to loving the sports themselves, is like, I just love watching how much of an ecosystem is created around each sport. Just the culture. Like, the US has a culture of capitalism, right? So as much as they sell the NFL and sports stories as like stories of like courage and perseverance and hard work, at the end of the day, they they have somewhat of an obligation, as like when it comes to being such a staple in American culture, to like also participate in capitalism. And the ways that they find to do that are really interesting. It's like, what are they going to sell next? What are they going to do next? Mino says, how you feel about Bad Bunny doing the halftime show? I only know 2 Bad Bunny songs. I kind of talked about that on Tuesday a little bit. I think Bad Bunny is a dope artist. I've heard a bunch of his music because, like, when I played roller derby, like, a lot of my teammates, they loved Bad Bunny. And so I don't understand all the lyrics. I understand some of them. But I think he's great. I think literally the only reason I have a problem with Bad Bunny is like, if you racist, honestly, because like, he's done nothing to anybody. And so when people are like, Bad Bunny, I'm just like, that, to me, that says something about somebody. Like, if you're just like, yeah, I don't care for Bad Bunny, like, you know, he's not really in rotation in my playlist, all right, cool. But if like if Bad Bunny being the halftime performer makes you angry, then yeah, stay the fuck away from me, because I can't trust you. You can't be trusted. JV said, I thought Bad Bunny was the Catch Me Outside girl. You thinking of Bad Baby. Which does sound a little bit similar. JV thought it was Bad Baby. That's funny. I'm saying, you can play it up, but I feel they was doing too much. Yeah, they are. There's so many ways to do that, and I just felt like they did it wrong. John, let's just say I don't see them doing that next year. I was about to be big mad about this Chicago Pope. John said, did I catch the post about the American halftime show? Yeah, John, I did see the post about the American halftime show. Hold on, I want to finish listening to this. My note says, I'm calling now. Russell Wilson gonna come on stage and make a joke about his pass in the Super Bowl against the Pats. So John, yeah, I saw the post about the American halftime show. It's annoying because Bad Bunny is American. And for you to say somebody's not American because they speak Spanish is just pointing to your own racism. And it's so disgusting to me that so many people are just like openly racist and have the nerve to try to like take the moral high ground on anything. Especially considering Kid Rock and his lyrics about underage girls. Don't get me started. John said, we don't eat deep dish that much. If I lived in Chicago, I probably would eat deep dish that much. I went to Chicago once and I'm just like, okay, the deep dish pizza here is different than what I'm used to. I see why people love this shit. Like, offensive linemen don't get enough love. They really don't. Neither do defensive linemen. The guys in the trenches do not get enough love in general. Oh, dang it. Now I can't hear anything. I didn't realize my phone was dying. Hold on, y'all. Actually, I'm going to keep this on. What is happening? Hold on. I got to go get my other phone charger. Yeah. I had my phone plugged into my computer. I didn't realize it was still dying anyway. So if they say anything in the next few minutes, I won't be able to hear it. But here's my thing about it, John. I don't have a problem with people liking who they like. You know, it's the presentation of it. It's like if you just like country music and you're like, yeah, we're gonna have a country halftime show. All right, that would be kind of weird to me, but okay, do you? But it's the fact that they're positioning it as American, as if the NFL's halftime show is un-American, and just the constant rhetoric about a Spanish-speaking person. Like literally, if you think about what these people are mad about, they're mad that somebody who speaks Spanish is doing the NFL halftime show. That's it. That is fucking disgusting. And that's why I can't get down with people with certain beliefs, because it's just like, okay, you can have different political beliefs than me, like especially when it comes to things like how the economy should be handled, or what should be considered good allocation of taxpayer dollars, right? But when you start supporting just like racist ideologies, that's where I, as a Black woman, I cannot trust you. I can't trust you. And so people like, we should still be able to be friends. Like, no, not when you show me you are racist. I am Black. Like, your racism could literally mean life or death for me, or success or failure. So no, I'm not about to play around with my well-being, my survival. Are they saying anything funny? I haven't reconnected my phone yet. And my Roku remote is on my phone, so I can't even turn it up. But yeah, that's why I don't understand people who are so like gung-ho about it. Why people who are like, yeah, fuck the NFL halftime show. I'm like, so people are just comfortable being racist out loud now. So weird. Yeah, no, I feel you, John. Like, one thing I'm not about to do is send the message that that shit is okay. There's a lot of things that I'm okay with people thinking like, okay, this is okay, that's okay, yada yada yada. But I'm not about to sit here and pretend like racism and that type of discrimination is okay. I'm not. We're not playing that game. If that's who you are, we are no longer cool. It is what it is. And that's not me cutting people off because of political beliefs. That's people showing me who they are and me realizing that they are harmful and dangerous. Like, who's going to sit out here and be cool with somebody who has shown that they are harmful or dangerous? I would just be like fucking ignorant. Okay, I got sound back. What did Christian McCaffrey just win? I wonder if I turned my phone screen off, if I can still hear. Okay, I can. Yeah, that's all we can do, John. Oh, he got comeback player of the year. That means Dak didn't get it. Aw. John said, I can send you a link to bootleg if you have any more problems. Oh, no. It wasn't a problem with my stream. It was a problem with my phone. My phone died. And so I'm listening to it. So basically, I have the Roku app on my phone. So even though it's on my TV, the audio is coming from, like, to my Bluetooth through my phone. So when my phone died, I lost all audio. Hey, Casey, how's it going? Wait, Casey, who's your team again? Is your team in the Super Bowl? Did you know Mike Vick has a new BET show about his family and coaching? I did not know this. Oh, so you're just excited about the Super Bowl then? That's legit. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm gonna be watching it. I might have to work. I'm hungry, guys. Another Invisalign commercial. But this is what I mean when I'm like, capitalism is part of the culture of the NFL and vice versa. John said, is it on the channel or the website? What are you asking me? But yeah, I cannot believe that I have not been invited to a single Super Bowl party. But it's all good. I'm on a diet right now anyway. Casey said, I'm gonna be out being fast. What you mean? Like, do you have a date? Are you going to a party? Mano says, I'm trying to stay away from being spoiled by the commercials. My family likes watching the commercials. LOL, it's a lame Super Bowl tradition. I think it's kind of fun. I think it's fun to see the types of commercials different brands pull out for the Super Bowl. Once again, the tradition of capitalism. It's like once you stop looking at football as being about perseverance and hard work and hero stories and start looking at it as one of the best models of what capitalism does in the US and how it works, like all of that shit just starts being entertaining. You know what I'm saying? It's like Americans have literally made a tradition out of watching commercials. Like, really? Really? Kissy says, I just finished my dry January and I'm about to go drink like I'm on a cruise. And yeah, I'm going to a Super Bowl party. Okay. Well, I they really got too short up here. Are they gonna say it? Is he gonna say his favorite word? How do you have him perform this song and he don't say the word? This is so ridiculous. So he can say hit that blunt, but he can't say bitch. I hate America. He can talk about pimping at a time where human trafficking is at an all-time high, but he can't say bitch. We're watching the NFL honors, Casey. So, fun fact: since Tiffany Haddish is coming on stage and we don't like her, no, I'm about to tell the story in a second. She does look good tonight. That dress is fire. I will say in the past, she's worn things that like didn't flatter her. It looks like maybe she got a new stylist, but she got it right tonight. She did not just say that. Wow. John said Regina Hall would have killed this. Why you say that? I don't know how I feel about the ripped blazer look on Deion Dawkins. Yeah, Casey. Apparently, Bijan Robinson is a DJ. She said Tiffany looks better than his real wife. Damn. I don't know what his wife looks like. Okay, yeah, I was not paying attention to that matter. My bad. All right, so coach of the year. Is Ben Johnson up for this one? I feel like Vrabel's gonna get it. Mato said it should be Mike McDonald going through that tough NFC West division. She just called this man Mike Verbal. Y'all, what y'all think it would take for me to get a position presented an award at the NFL honors? What do y'all think I would have to do to get to that point? Yeah, John, she did it twice. Mato said, "LOL, you might have to have a private meeting with Roger Goodell." Oh God. I think in terms of realistic things, I think I would have to like actually be at the level where I have an agent to like negotiate those things for me. John said the internet will tear Tiffany up. They probably will. Flag football players of the year. Rotundi makes her sound like a piece of meat. This is who I was looking at when I was like, apparently flag football got some baddies and I didn't know it. I was like, who is this girl? And they were like, oh, she's a flag football player of the year. And I'm like, well, damn. Mado said flag football has come a long way. They used to get clown playing flag football like 25 years ago. That's what I was saying. I was like, the NFL made a choice. Like, I think they saw what was coming down the pipeline with flag football and they decided to hop on. And people think like the NFL created flag football. I'm like, no, it did not. No, it did not. Flag football was struggling and trying to figure out its way for years before the NFL came along and was like, we can teach you how to get your clout up. Like, that's been the NFL's contribution pretty much. JV said, you only have to smile. You can have whatever you like. JV, if the decision were up to you, I'm sure that would be the case. If I were like, JV, I want to go to the NFL honors, and I smiled, and you had the power to do it, I'm pretty sure. But in the real world, I'm one of a million smiles like this. This is why I question whether or not I'm successful, y'all, because I don't have the clout to be at the NFL honors. This goes back to the conversation that we were having before the award show started. I'm just like, can I really call myself successful if I can't even get there? It's like, if I can't actually be paid a fair wage for my articles, can I call myself successful? JP, you're silly. Is everybody getting an HEB commercial now, or is this just a Texas thing? Somebody just texted me and asked me if I've ever considered other camera angles for my podcast. Do y'all think I need other camera angles? If so, what? Mado says Kyle Brandt came up. LOL, you might be next. Wasn't he on the Real World? Kyle Brandt? Who the fuck is that? Hey, Royal, welcome back. Kyle Brandt is... Oh, I recognize him. I think he was on The Real World or something like that. An American television host, media personality, and actor. He is one of the hosts of Good Morning Football on NFL Network. He was executive producer of The Jim Rome Show from 2009 until 2016. So yeah, he's had a history in the industry, though. A lot of these people who are like getting positions now, they've had a history in the industry where they were doing something in media since like fucking 2005, 2009. So many of these people have been doing what they're doing for like 10 years just quietly. And they like made connections and worked their way up. This is only my 5th year in this podcast, and I was doing nothing in media before that. Roger Goodell, what's up? Going up with money and having connections makes huge differences too. Huge differences. Debbie said this is the only place they don't boo the commissioner. I feel like they don't boo him anymore. Oh, they're about to announce the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominees. So yeah, speaking of coming up in money and having connections, so someone who was trying to convince me that my problem was the name of my podcast, Bitches Love Sports, they were like, you should have picked something that was still edgy. Like they were like, for example, the Call Her Daddy podcast is doing really well, and people understand that it's supposed to be edgy, but she didn't go that far with it. So they were basically trying to say that if I had picked a name like Call Her Daddy or something like that, that I would have an easier time. And I'm like, the host of that podcast grew up with money, and also her dad was a TV producer. So not only did she have more resources than I started out with, she grew up with more knowledge about the media industry than I did, and had more connections. And so I was just like, show me somebody who started where I started, then we can talk. Matto said Baddies Love Sports. So the reason why I didn't go with Baddies Love Sports is because I feel like baddie invokes a certain type of imagery. Like, I don't consider myself a baddie. I don't think, I feel like for women, and this is just my opinion, I could be wrong, it's easier to identify as a bitch than it is as a baddie. Like, baddie is actually a certain aesthetic. Like, most of the time, I don't even have my nails done because I type. Like, I tried keeping my nails done for a while, and it was just hard to like keep my nails done and write articles. And so it's like most of the time I don't even have my nails done. Most days I'm running around in like glasses and a regular ass shirt and some sweatpants. And so baddies just didn't feel right. I think it's interesting that every team has to submit a nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year. And sometimes I wonder what would happen if a team just didn't have anybody. If they were like, look, ain't nobody on our team really contributing to the community like that. like, like, if they just had to be like this guy, he went to the beach last Saturday and picked up some trash. Does that work? Who is representing the Cowboys this year? Who was it? I forgot who it was. Because I remember hoping that Osa would get it because I think his foundation is dope. JV said, would I be overstepping boundaries by asking, what about the ladies from Girls Talk, Boys Talk? What are you asking about them? I guess it depends on what you're asking. Solomon Thomas. That's who is this year's Dallas Cowboys nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year. Hold on, I gotta go get my other cable because apparently this phone wants to die. Well, it is going on 2 hours, so that makes sense. Be right back. JV said, are they able to hook you up with some NFL insiders? Maybe Jane Slater? Fuck no. I don't even talk to any of them. And even when I did, they weren't trying to hook me up with nothing. Yeah, none of what you're suggesting is about to happen, JV. John said, worry about what you have and work with that. Resources are important. No, 100%. That's the only choice I have, John. So I'm just like, I'm going to start with, my dad used to always tell me, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. That is 100% my philosophy. Well, JV, I'm glad you liked the show. I'm glad it came off like there was great chemistry there because there absolutely was not in real life. John said, when you focus on what you don't, you sell yourself short. It stops you from looking at things at a different angle, something that only you can bring. That's legit. And it's like, just to be clear, I'm not intending to complain about what I don't have. I think what it is more so with me is that I get frustrated when people try to give me advice that doesn't apply to my situation. Like, it's frustrating for people to tell me, like, well, you should do this because so and so did this. And I'm just like, yeah, completely different situation, completely different set of circumstances. So I'm just like, if you're going to give me advice, at least give me advice that I can apply. Give me advice that makes sense for me. But I hate when people come to me like I'm doing something wrong because, like, oh, well, if you did such and such, you could be here because this person did such and such. And I'm just like, no, that's not how any of that works. But like when people come to me when they have like just good advice or whatever, like what JV is saying in the chat, even though none of that stuff would work because of the reality of that situation, I'm not upset with him for saying that. Like, that's his perspective and he's coming from like a very honest place. Like, I don't think he's like, how do you come at me sideways like, well, if you were better at maintaining relationships or networking, maybe you could have them, da-da-da. I'd be like, you know what, fuck you. You know, but he just asked earnestly, you know. But I have had certain people come to me and be like, well, the reason why you won't get anywhere is because you do this and you do that and da da da, because so and so does this and so does that. And if you were more like them, you'd be better off them. And those are the people I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. He's 60. I would have thought he was like 80. Jesus Christ. How do they put these people together? What is the connection between Tracy Morgan and Seth Rollins? John said nothing. What? That was a random line. What? I'm so confused. Thank you, John. I was like, is this like some kind of Chicago inside joke? But apparently not. It just makes no sense. Are they calling Caleb the Iceman now? I like it. Is Caleb there? I don't think he is. It looks like somebody's accepting the award on his behalf. Where's Caleb? Why is Caleb not there? I'm Googling where is Caleb Williams. World said, Jazz, you're an awesome person. You do what you love. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you. Google does not know where he is. Mado, that's unnecessary. Oh, if Caleb keep making passes like what he made this season, I don't care if he gets a full set. He can come out with the French manicure. He can come out looking like Cardi B if he keep getting the ball off like that. I don't give a fuck. People are forgetting about Dennis Rodman. Oh, you mean like in terms of people being like, no, nobody will ever match Dennis Rodman. He came out with a pink wig. I would pay money to see Caleb dye his hair the way Dennis Rodman used to dye his hair. No, John, they did try to check Dennis Rodman's manhood a lot, actually. But Dennis Rodman was just unfuckwittable. Couldn't tell him nothing. Like, there was no social media at the time. Because, like, if you think about it, it's not people on sports shows talking shit about Caleb Williams. It's people in chats like these. It's people on social media, so on and so forth. If social media had been around at the time, they definitely would have been talking way more shit about Dennis Rodman. Oh, Drew Brees? Okay, that's what's up. Go Saints. I love that for Drew Brees. I feel like they must be piping in crowd noise because. Sorry, I'm looking for my earbuds case because I might have to switch my earbuds in a second. But I feel like they must be piping in crowd noise because I feel like the sound of the audience is bigger than the size of the audience. Like, it looks like way less people than what it sounds like. Yeah, no, I appreciate y'all's encouragement on the subtopic of the night, which is me and whether or not I'm successful. I don't know if everybody was here when I discussed it, but I was saying that came up because I had an interview right before this where a guy kept asking me about like the hurdles that I've had to overcome in order to achieve success. And I'm like, achieve success? What? But I want y'all's opinion on this. So somebody texted me a second ago and said, have you experimented with different camera angles for your podcast clips? So he's talking about the clips that I post on social media, which is basically this, but I clip it. So like if you look at my YouTube shorts, that and so I said, what do you mean by different angles? No, I haven't. Is there something different you think I should try? And he said, I'll reflect on it, which makes me think he feels like the answer is yes, but he just doesn't know what yet. Do y'all think I should try a different angle? Like, how are y'all feeling about my podcast clips? Like, is there, like, would y'all like to see me switch it up? Like, because, like, I think I might need a better setup in order to do any kind of different angles, but maybe not. You know, maybe I just need to be creative. But I was comfortable with this, so this is what I've been going with. But, like, if John said, is he talking about verticals? Yeah, I mean, my shorts and stuff, my clips are like the vertical view. So it'd be like taking like this and cropping it. Like if you want to like click and go look at my shorts real quick, you can kind of see what they look like. But yeah, he's like different angles. And I'm like, different angles, like what? What do you think I should be? What do you think I should be doing? Like you want me to lay in the bed and just be like, be my pillows, be like, hi guys. Welcome to Bitches Love Sports. Like you want me to do like a full body shot? Like should I be standing up? What are we doing? What are we talking about? Meadow said people have cameras on the side too. So that's what I mean by better setup. Like I got one camera, one. And then it's like even if I did have two cameras, I would need the ability to like switch the angles and shit. I'm not there yet. And different angles does mean more editing. That's why, like, real talk, that's why I do so much live, because I know I don't have time to edit. Like, if I have to trim shit and render it and then post it, it might not happen. It might not happen. So we just gonna go live, and if I fidget or I use too many filler words, y'all just gonna have to be okay with it. Mano said lay in the bed like Moesha used to do, right in her diary. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, should I pretend like I'm in the bed writing in my diary? Like, I'm gonna be out here like, dear diary, the Dallas Cowboys got a new defensive coordinator today. I said camera angles are fine. Don't listen to that guy. I'm like, okay, I might be missing something. Like people be having feedback. I don't want to act like I know everything. Salute to service. I'm here for it. Now, John, editing on CapCut is different. I've never tried it on desktop, but I do it on my phone. And it's like the more features that I learn, the more I like it. But there is a learning curve there. I'm used to using Adobe Premiere, which to me is a lot more intuitive. Madam said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm like, it might be broke. I do what I can. Like, so I'm like, my method might be broken, and it's just what I have access to right now. Oh, that's so nice. Christian McCaffrey gets a salute to service award. Why do you call it glazing? Y'all are silly. I might just pop up with a different camera angle on my next live stream. See, see how y'all like it. I feel like my only other option is like on the bed. It's like I'm gonna either stand up, but it's like if I'm standing up, I won't be able to use my laptop. So if I feel like if I start off on the bed, people are gonna expect a whole different type of content. Like, I don't know what you're about to do, but it's like, don't get your channel banned. The fuck. All right, so the fan of the year goes to a fan from the Eagles fan base. I don't think KC Sports Show is still here. John said, get one of those standing tables that can move up and down. I feel like for full body content too, you just got to have like a bunch of outfits, which I also am not trying to put that on myself right now either. I'm like, I work 12 to 15 hours a day sometimes. I need to keep this part of my life as simple as possible. Like, keep it smooth. Like, I'm not trying to do a whole lot with the outfits, with the graphics, with the editing. One day, I hope I get there one day to where I can add all of that, multiple camera angles, cool ass backdrops, maybe a backdrop that changes depending on the topic that I'm talking about, you know, different outfits, more pre-recorded content. Like, that would be fun. Mando said, you need a feet cam? What? Wendy Williams had a foot cam? I did not know that. Is that what it sounds like? Just literally to occasionally cut to her feet? That sounds so weird. I was looking for my earbuds case a second ago. Hold on. I gotta black this out one more time, y'all. Madam said a little camera was set up there. That's crazy. I never watched the Wendy Williams show. Oh Lord, somebody please make that a meme. They got Roger Goodell dressed as one of the members of Run DMC. The fuck? Wow. Roger Goodell has a sense of humor. Okay. Okay. That bit did make me chuckle a little bit. Wait, what is this award? Oh, is this Rookie Defensive Player of the Year? Oh Lord, they doing the same thing that they did with the offensive players. Everybody got to give a speech. Playing football barefoot on concrete sounds crazy. Why look like she wearing lingerie under that trench coat? Interesting look. No, Mado, I think her dress must have been really revealing, and they were like, "You need to keep your coat on." I just realized they got the Copilot Microsoft branding on the back of the tablets. Oh, there's so much product placement in this whole ceremony. Sean said the tablets are so lame. It's capitalism, man. It's sponsorship. Yeah, the Browns getting these postseason awards, this postseason recognition. Is his mom crying? Mano said, how do you like the set design? I don't feel that sky blue fits. I don't know how I feel about the set design, but I can tell that they're trying to play it the blues. Like the blues are really standing out in like even people's who have like blue eyes, their eyes look really blue. So for whatever reason in the broadcast, they're trying to make that blue really, really bright. That's the main thing I've noticed about the set design. So they need to hire someone different to organize the award show for next year. Well, I think part of how the award show plays out depends on the location. Because, like, if you notice, that room isn't very big. So it's probably somewhere close to the hotels where most people are staying. So they probably find a room in one of the hotels or in the convention center nearby. They deck it out, and that's where it is. This doesn't seem to be a very like large scale production. But they do always have the players choir sing songs, which is really interesting. I think one of the most interesting things about all of this is how all season it's like you need to focus on football. It's about football. And it's like the NFL is not about football. The NFL itself is not about football. It's like football is a medium for them to have more shit to sell, pretty much. And then the other thing about the NFL honors is we got to remember the whole purpose of this, while these people deserve their awards, yada, 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 the whole purpose of this, why it's on TV, is to sell broadcasting rights and sponsorship slots. So, but they're probably not charging a premium for either of those things. So they're doing what they have to do in order to put on the whole production and still make a profit off whatever they get from their sponsorship and broadcasting rights. So basically, they're trying to make this whole ceremony as cheap as possible. Okay, so they're not trying to hire the best entertainment. They're not like they want the set to look good, but they're not about to go all out on the budget. Same thing with any of the like the table pieces. Like y'all see, they have bottles of water. They're not serving it. They have tables, but they're not eating food. They got water. Small audience. Like they wanted to look upscale and have that feel of a big award ceremony, but that shit is small and as cheap as they can get it. I promise you. I still want to go though. I would still love to go. Oh yeah, they save tons of money not bringing on any musical guests. They didn't even get a DJ. They got Bijan Robinson DJing. Come on. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all my Too Short story earlier. So what I was going to tell you about Too Short is in the beginning of this podcast when I had a co-host, she was from Spain. So English, second language. But her favorite cuss word was bitch. I didn't even know that before I named the show, but her favorite cuss word was bitch. And so one day I was like, "Oh, so you must like Too Short." And she was like, "Who?" And I was like, "Well, that's his favorite word." I was like, "That's his favorite word." You know, he has a whole song. I was like, he has multiple songs where he says that's his favorite word. And so I played her Blow the Whistle. And the next time I went over there, her boyfriend was like, she has been playing Blow the Whistle all week. She has been playing Blow the Whistle and running around the house yelling bitch all week. And I was like, my bad. It's a fire song though. For the Bay Area though, why they didn't get MC Hammer to perform? How old is MC Hammer now, actually? Because in my mind, I'm like, that would have been fine. He can't be older than Too Short. Hold on, I'm about to see. How old is MC Hammer? MC Hammer is 63. He is currently a motivational speaker, tech investor, and minister. To be said, I'm being a bad influence on immigrants. I really am. I introduced that woman to Too Short and made her a Cowboys fan. How I'm terrible. I need to repent. Too Short is 59. So a few years younger than MC Hammer. And E40 is 58. I can't tell if that banter between the two of them was real or not. They playing MC Hammer at least. I feel like MC Hammer doesn't get enough love today. Like, give it to JSN. JSN definitely deserves it. He did not just say that. Drewski. Wow. He just called JSN, Jackson Smith. He ain't doing another show ever again, Matto. He ain't doing another show ever again. He just messed up his chances. Because, like, don't get me wrong. I hate censorship. I'm a proponent of people saying what the fuck they want to say. But when you're on cable television, you cannot say that, especially about a player. And the NFL has to endorse this. What? God, Drewski, what is wrong with you? Why would you do that? And the thing is, Drewski's stock is going up right now. Like, after that video that he made making fun of ministers, like, people was, like, really feeling Drewski. Like, I promise you, he just got himself cut from potential award show rosters. Hell no. I bet Barry did want to smack dude. Oh my God. What in the... That's one of those things that it's like, it could be funny in the right context, but in that context, like, every black content creator is looking at Drewski like, why would you fuck this up? JB said Drewski stock was going up. Yeah, emphasis on was. He in trouble now. Because it's like, this is an NFL sponsored event. Now the NFL got to apologize for JSN being called Nukba. Jesus Christ, why would you do that? And then, especially considering we're in an area right now where there's a lot of black men who don't even like that word. They don't even use that word. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't have a problem with it. I grew up with that word. And I know a lot of people still say it. But you don't know how a person might personally feel about it. What the fuck, Drewski? Jesus. That was not the time or the place. That was not the time or the place. Yes, Clement, big up JSN for winning. I'm glad he won. But that was not the time or the place. Oh, Lord. And also, who the fuck doesn't know how to pronounce Njigba? Like, even if that's not your team, even if you just passively watching the NFL, I feel like you know how to say Njigba. Like, you've heard the name. We know how to say this man's name. Agreed, Clement. Agreed. This is not the time or the place. Lord. His agent gonna cuss him out. His agent gonna be calling him that word he just called JSN. Oh, Jesus. Clement says Nicky Winari got robbed of AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. I didn't really have a strong opinion on that one, honestly. But state your case if you like. If you want to state your case in the chat. Hold on. I'm about to go to Twitter and see if people talking about Drewski. Apparently, Puka Nacua is E40 fan. Oh, Clement, I'm just not seeing this post you tagged me in. Maddo, you silly. It's like if Too Short can't get up there and say his favorite word, you should know you can't get up there and say the N word. What the hell? Somebody said Drewski is never being invited back. Real talk. Okay, Teyana Taylor. I see she a bit more covered up than she was at the Grammys. Still looking good though. Maddo said she might be the next Halle Berry. Hell, I mean Halle in her 50s, and Teyana Taylor is on the rise. So I'm like, yeah, go ahead and pass that torch. She doing her thing. Clement, you tagged me in a post about Women and Girls in Sports Day yesterday, but I don't really be on Twitter because I don't do well on Twitter, so I didn't notice it. No, Teyana Taylor is 100% doing her thing, dressing for the occasion wherever she goes. She got it. It's hers for the taking. You bringing up the whole family on the stage, okay? This man said, "I'm the girl dad of all girl dads." Oh my God, all his girls got his face, but smaller. Jesus. It's like AI took him and turned him into four little girls. You're hilarious, Maddo. Yes, John, they are his mini me's. That's that's the future of flag football right there. They're about to be somebody's O line in the Olympics in like 20 years. Oh yeah, Matthew Stafford did pretty much just say he's not retiring. I know that's a question on a lot of people's minds, but good for him. But I don't think his time is coming up yet. I hope not. I really need Dak to get one. I need Caleb to get. I need Dak and Caleb to at least each get one within the next 3 years. That's what I need for me to be happy. Having multiple quarterbacks as your favorite players is it's a tough road. I said one of them is gonna be a flag football star. Man, one. Look, they literally found out that the best predictor of your odds of becoming a professional athlete is whether or not your parents were athletes. So I'm saying your daddy is Matthew Stafford. They about to all be on somebody's team, especially with flag football going pro. Going pro. Come on. He was like, "Y'all are all my cheerleaders." I'm like, "Cheerleaders? Nah, cheerleaders. That's what girls did in the 20th century. We're 21st century now. We in the 2020s now." And don't get me wrong, some people like being cheerleaders, and cheerleading, especially as a sport, is tough. But football is the wave. Clement said if the Cowboys defense reaches top 10 status and the Cowboys can win the Super Bowl, I think they can. Because, like, for once, we're going into the season with an excellent defensive line. If they can just figure out the personnel issues behind them, which I believe they can, I think they'll be all right. Mano said, not sure why my team gift wrapped y'all George Pickens. Fam, what was with the press coverage of George Pickens before he got traded? Like, I went back and looked. I was reading some of the articles because I was trying to get a good understanding of what they meant by off the field issues. And they made George Pickens sound like everything that was wrong with the Steelers was his fault. Like he was just the most fucked up person to ever be in that locker room. But it's like the only thing I could find was that like, oh, he showed up late to some stuff. And I was just like, Clement said, thank you, we appreciate it. We do indeed. We do indeed. But I was really confused by it. And then turn around mid-season talking about we're trying to find a wide receiver before the trade deadline. And I'm like, well, y'all had one. Y'all had one. And y'all made him out to be the devil reincarnate. And honestly, it was a bad look for the squad because I'm just like, if y'all talk that bad about a player, and then that player goes to another team and is an upstanding member of the team and just like a great asset to the offense, that just makes it seem like something's wrong with y'all's culture. That just makes it seem like they're lacking structure over there. Oh, my purple light blew out. Mado said he was having issues showing up late and they're having issues not getting the ball enough. Well, they didn't have no damn quarterbacks. The Steelers got a great wide receiver and then gave him Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Like, I'm sorry. I would have been showing up late too. Hell, that's probably part of the reason why he was acting up. Who was actually leading that locker room? You mean to tell me those guys was actually following the lead of Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson is notorious for not having good relationships with his teammates. And Justin Fields is a lot of things. He is not a leader. Wasn't nobody leading that locker room. Wasn't nobody setting the tone for that team. But he came to the Cowboys and Dak was like, look, look, I'm the leader in this locker room. If you want this ball, I'm going to need you to act right. He got his shit together. John said, just like we was looking for a pass rusher. Look, I think the Cowboys actually have qualified pass rushers. I think they needed a better play caller. And now they have that. He said that's an old man cut. It's clean. It's simple. I like it. Am I getting old? If I like that haircut, am I getting old? I just think it looks good on him. I can't imagine him with a different cut. JV, you're hilarious. Yeah, John, they usually do a good job with Walter Payton Man of the Year. Mano said, isn't Bobby Wagner 36? I don't think so. Oh, he's 35. Damn. All right, well, that was fun, guys. I'm hungry and I got to get up in the morning. So I appreciate y'all for chilling with me. I may or may not still go live tomorrow. It just depends on if I have it in me to do it. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for joining me for the stream, John. I like being able to chat with y'all. I don't know if y'all know this, but like I don't really have friends here who are into sports. So shit like this is fun. Who else would I have watched this show with? But no, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the advice. And yeah, make sure those notifications stay on. So if I do go live tomorrow, y'all don't miss the show. But if I don't, then I'll see y'all next week. So y'all all have a good night. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see y'all next time. This has been another episode of Bitches Love Sports. I'm your host, Jazz Monet, and I'm out.
You only think of us as a bitches when you intimidated. Put it that way. I think
people look at a woman if she's an aggressive woman who's out to get what she wants to get. You know what I'm saying? Ambitious, and they want to say, you know, when a male is assertive, this is what he wants. He's looked at as a strong male, but yet when I get it, you know, I'm a bitch.
Exactly.
And if that's what I gotta be, exactly, to get what I want and to make it somewhere, then I'll just be